Diamond FM.
Let's go to the phone lines, and we should have Albert on the phone. Hi, Albert.
Hi, I'm there.
Are you okay? Can you hear me okay, Albert?
Yes, certainly.
I'm just adjusting the levels here so we can have a chat. So, Albert, we talk about all different sports, right? And football's your sport, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct, yes,
And what team would that be?
Fauldhouse United.
So why Fauldhouse United then?
Well, I've grown up with them, you know. I've followed them since I was 10 years old, when they played at the old Ash Park along at the west end of Fauldhouse, you know, the red ash pitch with the sawdust for touch lines and what have you, and all that, you know. And the days that the players had the hammered and studs. Such a long time ago.
And what about you in football? Have you played football before?
Well, I came up through the school ranks, and then I went and played underage football in Edinburgh with the Gorgie Hearts Edinburgh Athletic. Then went to Bathgate Thistle for 3 seasons. Found out I wasn't good enough. Lost all my confidence. And then I took up other sports like judo, skiing, squash, mountain biking. Went on a course for football injuries and what have you. Yes, and I do a lot of quizzes for charity as well. So I'm pretty well occupied. And then I went back to playing football with Fauldhouse United as a goalkeeper coach and physio. You know, the man with the magic sponge. In 1987, I was invited to join Shorty's Bonaccord as a physio and goalkeeper coach, and I stayed there for 10 seasons. Then I had a season with Armadale Thistle, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and then, lo and behold, I came back to Fauldhouse United, and I've sort of been with them ever since. As a goalkeeper coach, physio, and a volunteer, fundraising. So that's my career to date. That takes me over my first 60 years. So how does that sound?
I like that, the first 60 years. Your life, Albert Mancini, you know. You mentioned, I was quickly writing down there, and it's probably in the book, I'm not sure, about the different sports that you took part in. You said judo and what else?
Judo, skiing, squash, mountain biking, hill walking, and sports injury, and quizzes, charity quizzes.
Well, listen, let's get back to the other sports before we get to the book side of the story. What about the judo and other sports that you took part in? Tell me about them, and how did you do?
Well, I was a member of George Kerr's Club in Edinburgh, and I was graded to, he took me down to London, and I got graded to black belt at Crystal Palace. Skiing, which is a fantastic sport. I would recommend it to everybody. Squash, I was lucky. I worked for West Lothian Council for 34 years, and I was lucky that I had 2 squash courts in the building I worked in, and I enjoyed that as well. Mountain biking, I took on a leadership course in mountain biking as well. So I was able to take children out on bikes. You know, they're quite strict, the council, with health and safety.
Well, what sport did you enjoy the most?
I enjoyed them all. I couldn't differentiate. I mean, they've all got their value. I never took up rugby. I thought it was too rough actually. But or golf. But no, I wouldn't choose one specific sport. They're all good when you're doing them, like, you know.
So let's get to the judo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why should someone take up judo nowadays? What's the benefit?
Oh, it teaches you self-discipline, keeps you fit. A lot of camaraderie, and you meet a lot of smashing people. I was lucky enough to be part of the Scottish squad. I was never good enough to be in the squad, but I used to attend their training sessions, and also one of the years the Olympic team the British Olympic team were stationed in Edinburgh Castle, and they would run down to Meadowbank, and if you wanted to train with the British team, you could go and meet them at Meadowbank. So I did that, and I met a lot of good people there, like Brian Jackson, Dave Starrock. They were big stars of the Euro world at that time.
What about the skiing? Where did you take part with the skiing? Was it Hill End?
No, I went up to Aviemore and Glen Shee and that. To be quite honest, I think I fell more than I skied. But, what a fantastic sport. Really good. A lot of preparation and skiing, getting your skis ready, sharpened up and waxed and what have you. But fantastic.
I had a wee shot up at Hill End in a trial day session,
And the mats?
Aye, on the mats, yeah. And
it's different altogether and on the snow. Beautiful.
I had a shot of the snowboarding as well, but...
I've not tried that. That seems to be in vogue just now.
I forgot how to stop. I fell, and I couldn't sit down for about a month.
Aye.
But listen, I enjoyed it. It was different, and at least I took part in it, which is good. And like you, taking part in other sports, and becoming involved. What about the family? Was there any other people in the family that took part in sport?
No, I've got 3 sons, and they weren't really one was interested in football, but the other 2 weren't interested at all. Just not. My girl she didn't like the sports either. Yeah. But that's not to say they haven't been good kids, like, they've grown up very stable, like, so pretty happy with that.
So let's move on to, I know you're involved in a lot of different sports, but the reason why you came on was about the book, but I'm going to get to that yet. Fauldhouse United, you joined Fauldhouse United, I think you said you came back to it, did you?
I did, I came back, maybe 2 or 3 comebacks to Fauldhouse United. It's always in partying, it's sort of in my DNA.
So when you came back, right, did you come back as a volunteer, a supporter, or did you join a committee, or even become the chairman?
No, I came back as a physio come goalkeepers coach before I moved on to Shorts Monacord and Armadale Thistle, and then I came back again. And I've been around for a while with them, and won a few cups. So here I am now. I'm on the committee now. So looking forward to next season. We've got a good squad, good backroom staff. Chris Mackey, Graham Love, Scott Weatherby's the business manager. So I'm looking forward to it. They've adopted an under-20 team, and I think the future looks good for Fauldhouse United, actually. I really like them to turn into a sports association, because we have the facilities. We could expand into the cricket. We've got a cricket ground as well, which isn't used because we couldn't get any youngsters coming through to play cricket. We could have athletics. We used to have an athletics club. I'd like them to reinstate that. As well as we've got a bowling club, but we've not got a club as such. We've got a bowling green, but not a bowling club. So we could reinstate that. And did I say athletics? We used to have a good athletics club in Fauldhouse, so it could be a big... we're better off in some villages, the facilities we have. We have the facilities, we don't have the clubs. So I'll take the will of the community to get these things up and running.
The community support is most important, especially for a football club that's coming out of lockdown as well, and hopefully they'll support you and your club once the games start getting going.
If Fauldhouse is a good-hearted village, they will support things like, and we've got the Leaving Seat Trust, the wind farm up the moor, and they're quite generous with their grants. So hopefully we'll do something there.
So, right, Albert. Let's get to the point. You're a member of the committee. Fauldhouse United. And then all of a sudden you thought, something, I could write a book about Fauldhouse United. Where did it start and why a book?
Well, when I was at Shotts Bonnecord, they published a book, and I was fortunate enough to be in that as well. And Bathgate Thistle produced an excellent book as well, and I was in that as well. And I thought, well, I'm in two books. Why don't I get other people come into my book? And plus the fact that 2019 season was coming up, that was 100 years old, and we wanted to mark the occasion. So we sat down and we said, right, what are we going to do here? And we thought, a firework display, former players' dinner, inter-primary schools quiz, season tickets for the primary school pupils, Player of the Year presentation. But due to the virus, that all got scuppered, and the book was the only thing that survived. So I don't know if I'm going to go back and say we're going to try these things. But the book was well received. So I thought, let's reflect on what was done over 100 years. I think the book will grow in stature over the years, as it gets older. And not financially, but for people to look back on, because what I done was I let people know where the club had come from. I used a book published by Sandy Brown. He had done one on 2007, and I used it as a template. And I thought, I'm going to expand on what Sandy has done. And luckily, with me being into photography, I had photographs from 2012, so I had quite an abundance of Fauldhouse photographs. So that was a good starting point. And then I asked people to chip in and what have you, and give them their thoughts. And the local MSP, Neil Finlay, he done the forward for me, and local councillor David Dodds, he done a bit as well. And I also asked Modern Living MBE, the Lord Lieutenant for I don't know if it's West Lothian or if it's Scotland, I don't know. Anyway, I wrote to her and I said, I think the Queen would send us a birthday card, but no, the Queen wasn't. She's busy that day, she was going to Asda. So I never got a letter from the Queen for being 100 years old. But she sent me a lovely letter, and it's contained in the book as well.
I noticed as well, Albert, that you've got some facts and figures for 1929 to 1930. Now, watch what you're saying, because we don't want to talk through the whole book, or what would be the point of anyone getting it, And also, Fauldhouse United's Cup in June 1932, with photographs as well, which is great.
No, I wasn't there, by the way.
Were you not?
No. Again, I was at Asda that day as well. So, what were you going to say? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying a lot of pictures here as well. I'm not going to go through them all. Like, there's pictures of Fauldhouse United and the players. I'm not going to tell you them. 1944, 45, the 45, 46 winners of the Scottish Junior Cup. And it goes on, and that's only me at page 10, so there's a lot of information throughout the years. Now, how hard was it to get all this information and collate it together and produce a book, Albert?
Well, I've got to take my hat off to Sandy Bell. I had quite a bit of stuff to go from his book. I built on it, and it was people were donating stuff to me as well, what about this, what about that? So I had quite a pile of stuff, and it took me about maybe 7 months to put this together. So I was quite happy with the finished article. So, and by the way, if there people listening, this isn't a sales pitch. This isn't anything to do with trying to sell the book. This is just memorabilia for Fauldhouse United in the community. But if you're a junior fan at all, I think it would be interesting reading. And if you're into what do you call it, collecting programs or books, and that, the books are available in Bathgate. You know, as I said, this is not a sales pitch, but if you went to www.gpfootball.com, you'll be in touch with the guy, George Peters. He runs a football program shop in Bathgate, and it's amazing the many stuff he's got in that shop from all over the world, programs. And he kindly offered to help sell the book for us. Now, I don't make anything off the book. The book is mainly for funds for the club. So, no, mainly, it's priority for the club.
62 pages long. Now, what's interesting, I just skipped through and I'm only just going to pick out another part. Now, I'm not going to read it out, or it would be a point. A lovely colour and really thick page book. And I'm getting to the page where it says Fauldhouse United FC, from the past, and not in order, previous managers, coaches over many seasons, and committee volunteers and supporters over the years. And I go right down the very bottom. Mrs. Annie Carty and Eldrick Avenue for the laundry. You've even got the laundry person in as well.
I found that. I thought that was just quite amusing, that actually, that Annie done the strips, you know. So very nice, wasn't it?
And all the sponsors' name and photographs. You know, Jimmy Cook, the former manager. Pictures.
Jimmy Cook. Jim Cook played for Kilmarnock and Hearts. Maybe people will recognise him. He was my best man.
Is that right?
Aye, and you know, he went into the alcohol trade, and he was managing director of Glenmorangie, and he was responsible for 30 countries, the sales in 30 countries all over the world. And in Brazil, you know who was working for him? The ambassador for Glenmorangie was Pele. Pele was the ambassador for Scotch whisky in Brazil. So Jim made friends with Pele. So
also Albert, I noticed, and I've skipped through, and I've came across this picture, right, of a trophy, and it says the Mancini family trophy.
That's right.
Is that you?
Well, my son, he's got a heating company. I know, so I said to him, any chance of putting up a cup, and he put that up for us. So there you go. So that was a nice gesture. Lots more, even happy memories. As I say, I just picked out one or two things, you know. The Highland Quilts, if that's what you pronounce it, presented by Carnoustie Panmure FC to Fauldhouse United FC in recognition of their centenary year. Brilliant. Aye.
But what's even better, Albert, is the photographs tell the story more than anything else. Isn't that right?
Well, I'm glad you said that, because part of the deal was that I should get photographs, and if you notice, everybody's smiling. You know, I would rate it as a happy book. You know, it's no deep and meaningful. It's supposed to reflect happiness and community spirit. You know, and a community getting behind a community club. And long may it continue, because, as you know, the club has survived for 100 years. Committees come and go, players come and go, coaches come and go. The main thing in that is the club itself. The club has survived for 100 years. I mean, it's survived the Second World War, and we're still here. I'll be here long after I'm gone. So we're hoping that, you know, some young people will come along and take over the mantle, you know, and the fundraising and the search for players and search for coaches and that. So it's up to the young people at Fauldhouse now, you know. So,
how long did it take you to produce a book and get the book published, Albert?
Publishing it wasn't a problem. I had a terrific publisher up in West Calder. It was getting in chronological order and making sure I was happy with what I was putting in. I'm sure I missed a lot of things as well. I mean, that was brought to my attention after people read it. Oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. But I said, well, I put in an appeal before it. You should have answered me before I went to publication. So, how long did it take me? But I don't know, about 7 months or something. But it was quite enjoyable. Quite enjoyable.
With the name Albert Mancini, you're no Scottish, are you?
Well, I am. I was born in Edinburgh. But my grandfather, Achille, he was born in Pigeonisco. Pigeonisco is south. It was near what's the name of that place? Casino. It's south of Casino, south of Rome. My granny, Mary Boney, she was born in Paris. My other grandfather, Wally Kane, he came from Ireland, and my granny, Isabel, she came from West Calder. So it's a mixed bag of tricks here. So I'm quite a disappointment to people when they meet me, because they think I should be bilingual, but I can only speak Fauldhouse language,
I know the feeling. Right, so Albert, this book, the headlines on it is Fauldhouse United FC 1919 to 2019, the centenary year. Access all areas. Now, is this available for anybody to buy?
Yes, as I said, it's available from that address I gave you from gpfootball.com. gpfootball.com in Bathgate. And if you get in touch with George, he'll send it out to you. I think it's £10, which includes bed and breakfast and post and package. So there you have it.
This book, is this your last, or have you got any more planned?
I don't know what I'd write about, actually. I mean, I could write a book about the pandemic, how it affected the clubs. I mean, everything I've said today isn't unique to Fauldhouse United. I mean, the clubs have all suffered, the setbacks, but they've also come through the same highs and lows, fundraising, players, coaches, etc., etc. I mean, there are, 160 junior clubs in Scotland. They all go through the same thing. Loyalty of the fans and the passion of the coaches. Well, yeah. So Fauldhouse, I'm talking on behalf of junior football. It's not unique to Fauldhouse United.
So what's your thoughts, and quickly, about the other clubs, junior clubs, joining East of Scotland Football League, or the West, or the North, or the South leagues?
Well, we had a talk about it. We thought we were maybe going to try and go to the West, but the West rejected that, and so we're putting it to East Lowland, and so we'll make friends with old rivals. I'm looking forward to going to Dunbar for the Belhaven Best, and any further east we'll be playing in the Dutch League. So looking forward to that.
Well, I think, remember at the beginning where all the junior clubs here followed Bonnyrigg, and I think it was Kelty Hearts, into the East of Scotland League in the mass numbers, and they've not looked back on it. Well, that's my opinion anyway. They've not looked back on it, and let's hope that other teams that are doing the same, like yourselves, then, good luck in the future.
Oh, I'm looking forward to Walking Horns again with Bonnyrigg Rose and Bo'ness and Lithgow Rose and what have you. Because they're big teams, but when I like to go at Auchinleck Talbot and Pollock, Auchinleck's a great team. Great respect for them. And I was lucky to be included in the Bonaccords squad. Would beat them, when was it? 2008. I wasn't away the Bonaccord at the time, but they asked me back to be the official photographer, behind the scenes photographer, and Monaco scored 2 in the first 20 minutes, and it was the longest 80 minutes of my life waiting to get that cup back to shots. 1-2-1 that day, so fabulous day, great memory. So,
well, listen, what you've done is you've taken the memories of a lot of different people and put them into a book, a cracker of a book there that it would be interest to a lot of different people that are interested in collecting football memorabilia.
well, that's very nice to say that. And I'd hope that they would maybe use it as a template, for their own books, because they shouldn't let the club's history disappear. They should mark it with respect.
Makes you think, doesn't it? You've done it, so why doesn't a lot of other people do it? But it's down, I think it's down to dedication, and the fact is that you wanted to do it and you'd done it. End of story. You were going to do it and you'd done it, and you've got great pleasure in talking about it here on 107.8 Blackdown FM.
I'd like to thank you, Russell, for inviting me on your show, and it's been really enjoyable. I was quite nervous to start with. I didn't think, oh God, like dragging pulling teeth here, but I think I've said plenty. But see, before I go, could I just say best wishes to Fauldhouse United and next season to Chris, Graham, Scott, Dave, Barry, Colin, Big John, Gary, Kelly, Royce, Dick, and many, many more. And I want to thank you. I want to sign off by saying cheerio, and keep in touch with me, Russell.
I was going to say an old Uncle Tom Cobley and all, as the saying goes. Now listen, you forgot one important person.
Who?
That supporter, the supporters. Come on, what about the supporters?
The people of Fauldhouse know the supporters. And by the way, I take on my next project on Monday. I'm going to Greenburn Golf Course. I'm doing the research work for Greenburn Golf Course. I forgot that.
You're doing research work?
Yes, aye.
Is that your next book?
No. It's the effects of alcohol in a beer garden.
Come on now, behave yourself.
Aye, well, the beer garden's open Monday, and I'll be down there.
Well, what I'm going to say is, right, listen, and I was thinking about it earlier, I know there's a lot in the social media pages and Facebook, Twitter and the news and all that about beer gardens opening up, clubs opening up and things like that. I'm not going to mention any of them because, just like what I'm saying, if you mention one, you've got to mention a lot. If you want to find out about a local club, a local beer garden, or the clubs opening up for bowling or anything like that, then check it out yourself. Albert, thanks very much for coming live on 107.8 Blackdown FM.
Okay. Keep in touch.
And by the way, once the season gets going, we'll be chatting to you more than once.
Okay. See you later.
Have a good evening.
Care.
Have a good evening and have a good weekend.
Take care. Bye.
There we are, Albert Mancini, and a beautiful, beautiful book. If you see it and feel it yet, it's not a book. It's like a thick magazine. The publication. It is a book, but when I think about books, it's 500 pages long with a massive cover on it and everything. But certainly worthwhile a thought. And by the way, it didn't say a price on it, did it? You need to check that out yourself. It is 5:46:39 seconds, so we're coming to the end of the programme, right? And I'm going to play this track next. I was looking for one, but I wasn't sure which one I was going to play. Albert was talking about